the destiny of everyone, every person is in the hands of God. Jerry, and then when the child is still growing, keep watching what he is doing. In fact, when he was still small, he used to gather this small rubbish zinc to make cars, different cars. And anytime.
That was when he was just 6 months. Wow. Did you guys get that? 6 months. So you should watch out for most of what these babies do when they are young, because that could just be a reflection without even fortune telling. You can even see that from their childbirth or from their upbringing.
He will say, Mommy, this is for me, I will buy a big car. And when we grew and he started doing this thing, I knew that that was.
You see, somehow I feel that most of us as humans, we have specific missions that we've been made to do on earth. Forget about the challenges, all right? Forget about anything that has to do with challenges here and there. There will be challenges, but challenges are not where you're going. It is your objective, it is your goal, and you should never stop at it. This is very important, all right?
And I used to tell my fellow women, don't rebuke your children when they are making this play. At least pay attention to see what your child wants to do. And then let's be praying for our children that what their destiny is will come to pass.
Yes.
My message for the academical aspect is there should be a way to encourage the practical aspect, to encourage people who are good with their hands. I feel they shouldn't be considered as second class citizens. They shouldn't be downgraded because they don't perform in the academical aspect. I feel there should be more encouragement, there should be more embracement to them towards those kind of people.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Now today we want to take a second look at Jerry Mallo. You know, in the first instance, we took a very close look of how this guy built a sports car and how he left perhaps potential opportunities in the United Kingdom, Europe, to come back home here in Nigeria to, you know, start something that is so unique and innovative. You know, that particular review by Tayo I know was very inspiring. So today we'll be taking a look at Channel's own version of how he created a tractor, you know, a machine tractor for farming, and as a homegrown technology. I know he's older now because this video is actually years away. He was a 24-year-old young man way back then when he did this, you know. So let's just sit back, relax, and see one or two things that we can learn as usual. Please remember to subscribe, click on the bell notification, leave your comments, and let's learn for life and not for school.
Hello, welcome to Eyewitness Report on Channels Television. Today on the show, we're presenting you the story of a 24-year-old Nigerian, Jerry Mallo, who through his creative exploit building agro-machineries has demonstrated the need for the country to pay some level of attention to technical and vocational education, which appears to have suffered recognition in recent months. How much will be yours practiced in Nigeria? I am Tracy Gillette. Well, this tractor fascinates me, and you may wonder why. Well, it is put together by some young Nigerians here in Jos, led by 24-year-old Jerry Mallo. Plateau State derives its name from the Jos Plateau with boundaries of elevated hills surrounding virtually the entire plateau itself. It's a melting pot of the best of natural endowments, such as rocks, water bodies, and a near temperate climate. These factors all come together in creating a vegetation suitable for the cultivation of a wide range of agricultural produce.
Looking at these shots or views of Plateau State, just precisely, I just begin to wonder how blessed this country is. Nigeria is. Nigeria is such a blessed country. Look at this place now. It's been referred to by the moderator as a temperate region. That means it's neither too hot nor too cold.
So while the plateau is known for these and more, not much is told of its technical hub. However, one young man appears set to tell that story.
I'm Jerry Mallo. I was born in Jos, Plateau State, in a little town called Bokos. I attended the King's School, Godaddy, for my primary level, and I went to boys' secondary school in Indi.
While Jerry's classmates are busy themselves with trying to understand the theoretical aspect of their coursework, he could not be bothered as he kept his eyes on learning the technical and practical part of the school program.
My class 2, I got a new science teacher, and my new science teacher was very passionate about practicals too. If we did motion, he would bring a tire or something and just teach us to practicalize it. So there was a time we did a particular topic and he brought cartons, electric motors, batteries, and tried to make something for us in class. He made a small vehicle. The vehicle was run, the tires were rolling. When he lifted it up, but once he dropped it, it wasn't rolling. So I dedicated my time and all my efforts to make sure that I make one and make sure that it was also running. So I stressed him after the lessons, gave me more lessons on it, and he supported me in different ways. Till the point where I was able to make mine in class 3. I made a very small toy car working with remotes and batteries. So the passion kept growing from here till my secondary school level. At secondary school, I was most at times the last person in the class, or maybe second to the last. It's like whenever my mates were collecting results, I cared less of my results because I knew my position already. Not like I don't read, I read very well, but I find it difficult to comprehend the theoretical aspect. But when we go to the lab, I find myself teaching others how to do the practical.
Yes, and it's very correct because and that's why at hands-on labs I actually encourage students. We are more practical oriented, hands-on. That's what it means. I always prefer that because it's a better way of learning than just theoretically learning. When you learn things in an abstract way, there's likelihood that you might not even understand the fundamentals of that particular device or whatever it is that you're doing technically that you want to work.
Aspect of it. So from my GS3, I joined the JET Science Club in my school, and is there representing the school in so many science competitions.
This led him to assemble all he could find to build his first car, which brought him some level of exposure and eventually a scholarship to study engineering at Hertfordshire University.
My parents are farmers, so raising the funds to build that was a big challenge for me. I had to farm, save my earnings from the farm, and use it to build that. So I preferred spending any little change I had on that prototype than buying myself shoes or buying clothing. I just had in mind that if I'm able to achieve this, one day I'll grow rich, I'll grow big, and I'll be able to buy myself nice clothes. So I just sacrificed for that time, and I built the vehicle. And I remember playing around with my friends. It's something I just did out of fun. I just did that out of pleasure. So I called my friends to see the maximum number of people that the car could move with. I remember about over 10 people climbed the car. There was no chair, no seat. So we're just basically standing and just hugging ourselves. And I was the driver sitting down and driving. And the car was still moving. So people will be running after us, and then maybe the 7th person will jump on the car and it was still moving. The 8th person will jump. 10th person would jump, and the car was still moving, so I was really pushing. Actually wanted to practicalize what I learned. I just don't want it to be that I know how this works, I know how to do this. I wanted to do it myself. So I used the grinding machine engine, the normal engine, the static, So I used it as the engine behind, and I was modeling in Lamborghini Gallardo. It was my dream car as of then. Motivated me a lot. I studied at the University of Hertfordshire in London, which I read automotive engineering. I am so passionate about vehicles, so I was learning how to do vehicles. But thinking back to my background, and my major challenge has been performing in the academical aspect. So I was still finding it difficult there. Rather, in the university it became worse. I was doing statistics, which was mathematics. I was doing computer programming, which was almost fully mathematics. I was doing the normal mathematics. I was doing programming, which was mathematics too. So I got discouraged. Though I had access to the practical aspect, I was involved in some sort of practical teamwork we're doing. There's a competition organized in Europe for automotive students. Each school, each university make a Formula 1 vehicle, and we come together and compete. So there we test the fuel economy, the balancing, the braking, the speed, and so many other things. And my team was the best. That was in the year 2014. My team was the best in Europe. So I felt achieved. I felt, yeah, it was a big leap for me. But just to be honest, I didn't see much difference with the little car I had made back in Nigeria. I felt I needed more. And to get more, I had to be in the field. I had to be in the factories where they were making these vehicles.
Armed with the knowledge he had gathered in the UK and a strong belief in his dream and his ability.
And come to talk about, modeling. He mentioned modeling. So, I think I've already elaborated on modeling and, what it entails. If you as an engineer want to begin an industry, of course, you don't need to start from the scratch. There are models, that are existing models that can always be improved upon. All right. So I think that has been settled. In a number of times in this my series of especially for the entrepreneurship series, I've talked extensively about that. So you can see Jerry Mallo too also mentioned that. He cited that modeling is very key. Whatever it is you're doing, existing models will always help you improve on your product or your innovation. This is very, very important.
To excel, Jerry Mallo returned to Nigeria. It was a decision that unsettled everyone around him, considering the vast opportunities abroad that he defeated.
At that point, my coming back to Nigeria brought a lot of controversies and a lot of issues for me. My parents were not in support at all. It's like going to London and coming back to Nigeria. I was doing a student job, which I was paid equivalent of about 360,000 naira every month. So to my parents, it was an achievement already. Even if I don't want to school, I should just stay there and work. And I was thinking, I wanted to come back to Nigeria. So actually, the challenge for me was difficult. I just had to stand my ground and come back. Not only for my parents, for the person which was touched, the person who sponsored me to London. He saw what I was doing and he was willing to support me to get to the better level I needed to be. And me leaving my education halfway now wasn't sounding encouraging to him. It was a big challenge to him. So he was very, very unhappy and unpleased with my decision. I even cried, thinking, how can my son go to study abroad and then come back without finishing his studies? And I felt, how will I work in the society?
Now wait, I hope you guys are understanding the context of this video. Jerry Mallo went to the United Kingdom, precisely to University of Hertfordshire, and he was not encouraged by what he was getting in the classroom, the regular classroom in that university. He felt he was being drawn back by a number of things that was being offered. Alright, he needed something more hands-on, more practical, so he can be inclusive in his community and his vision, actually, his goal, which is actually his major motivation. And he left all that. He came back he even refused to become an illegal resident. He came back to Nigeria to also fulfill this dream of being a manufacturer, of automobiles, a tractor for that matter. You can imagine. I mean, and then another thing that is even coming to my mind right now is that, this is, look at what he said most of his parents or his friends in Nigeria were saying. They were like, they preferred this foreign thing. I mentioned it in one of my series, in this particular entrepreneurial series. I talked about how Africans, or rather, just visit one of the videos I did on colonialism and all that. This, the effect of colonial things, or this mental slavery, is what is actually making Africans believe that abroad is better than their home. You get, it's like something that has been designed. Somebody somewhere designed this line of thought and inscribed it into the minds of so many Africans, and that is why you keep seeing some of these viral videos online that people are crossing the Mediterranean. Why would you risk your life and cross Mediterranean to another? Are you crossing to another planet? That should be the question we should be asking ourselves here. These guys crossing Mediterranean to Europe and crossing borders and claiming as fake asylums and all that. Are these guys going to paradise or what? Is this not the same planet that we are, that is governed by the same principles of physics and chemistry and biology? This is what we should be thinking about. So I think it has to do with a kind of reset. We just need to reset our minds and refocus our minds that, look, anything, this planet Earth, in any position you are, position P that you are, you can make it. And it's not even respective of some high level qualification or whatever. It's not as if you shouldn't go to school. Yes, you can go to school, but then there are plentiful opportunities and plentiful things that you can achieve right here in your soil, in your home. So you should just take note of that and never forget this.
People will be saying my son went to London and he was unable to make it and he came back as if he was withdrawn. So I was confused. When people say, they saw Jerry, I will say, okay, yes, he is back.
It was not actually pleasing to an extent that, not that I was not happy that he went for studies, but I was not happy in the sense that he had no take-off capital. He have no take-off machines. So he still have to be running helter-skelter like someone who doesn't even have the knowledge or the technical know-how, because there was no money and the government was not ready to support. We are not even saying government should give him anything, but government should make a level playing ground for him to operate.
The lesson was bitter, but in the long run made a better Jerry Mallo.
I looked around in Nigeria. People who fail in academics and perform well in the practical aspects are not considered to be first-class citizens in a way. Truth be told, carpenters are not really valued in the society. Mechanics are not really valued. There's a way they are downgraded. So I felt, why not invite these people? Why not invite people who are faced with such challenge? So we'll team up and create a platform for ourselves where we could feed ourselves and give ourselves some value.
An hour 19-minute drive from the city center is Bokos, where it all started for him, and where he settled down upon his return from the UK.
Everything I do now all started from here before it grew to where it is now. Come with.
This actually reminds me. You should never despise the day of little beginnings. You should never despise it. So even if you're going to learn programming, software engineering, it doesn't matter the kind of laptop you're using. You don't need an RTX system, okay? An NVIDIA powered RTX. I think the last time I checked Amazon, the price of RTX is going to about almost $2,000 or $3,000, which is running to millions of naira. All right, so you can just get a very simple system, at least maybe an i3. It doesn't have to be, at least with 4 gig or perhaps 8 gig if you know you can manage, and with 500 gigabyte you can start learning something, learning a skill and improving on a skill, a digital skill that will take you to the next level. This is very important.
So this workshop is where I spent most of my time. It has been locked for a very long while now, so you should expect to see cobwebs and others. It has been very active. I spent most of my time, my 3 hours in here. Yeah, you're welcome. It doesn't really look nice, but this room has a lot of stories in my life.
Jerry changed his story by channeling his energy to building agro machineries. He brought people of like minds and passion together, which led to the birth of Benny Agro.
Then we came up with the idea of building a company. That was where the name Benny came from. And Benny, in my dialect, my local dialect, means knowledge. So I just wanted it to be a platform where knowledgeable people bring their ideas together, make a living out of the ideas, and solve problems in the society. So I started inviting my friends, calling one or two of my friends that I knew who were faced with similar challenges with me. Then my closest friends came in.
One of those who probably understood Jerry and believed in him, even while the road was rough, is an old friend, a photographer, a cinematographer, Andy Chantu, who offered him his service.
When he came back from the UK, he told me about his challenges and what he faced, and this is the whole story and predicament. I was like, hey, we've been together since all this while, and I knew you since when we were like, when you were in JS1 and things like that. So I followed his dream of creating this company. I wasn't good in mechanical aspects because my discipline at that time was electrical and electronics. So I focused on supporting him in the administrative side, writing business proposals, business plans, documenting cash flow, maintaining social media, taking photos, making videos to promote products and things like that, because those are things that I was naturally endowed with talents to do.
4 years down the line, the story is different. They now churn out various agro equipment manually from this workshop in the backyard and refeed jobs.
These are products of someone that is not even formally schooled, doesn't even have any formal qualification, so you can just imagine.
When they're not on the field building agro machineries, they brainstorming on new designs and techniques to build them.
Besides, I think this software they are working on reminds me of Autodesk Mode Flow for plastic injection and manufacturing.
I decided to come here for my service one as industrial manufacturing. So far I've spent about 4 weeks and I'm really learning a lot here. It's really improving my innovative side. I think it should really be encouraged because from what I've been seeing, people here don't just do it for the money. They really have passion. They want to see a difference in me. And I feel it will help our economy because instead of importing all these machines, we can make them here. We have green boxes, we have very intelligent and creative people. So the government should really invest in this part.
I'm a graduate of mechanical engineering and then I came to this place meeting a lot of young people, and this place is actually the perfect place for someone to develop his talents because the people around here don't actually laugh at the faults. We actually work together as a team to make sure you become a better person, become who you actually want to be. We don't laugh at whatsoever you do. You just bring your idea, no matter how small or incomplete it is. We work together together as a team to make sure it becomes a full-formed idea at the end of the day.
I have suggested that instead of pledges on the site, should do something short of pledge.
When the designs are set for production, Jerry sources all his materials from a metal market in Jos.
So this is where we source our materials. For any metallic parts, the stainless parts, the tubes, the pipes, the stainless sheets we get.
The importance of localization of parts for industrial development cannot be overemphasized. I must state that one of the major issues we have in Nigeria is, dependence on foreign made products. And the more the country continues doing this, the more our national currency will be losing its value, the more pressure will be on foreign currency, and the more inflation will go on. So to reverse all these trends, we need to set a variable to slash all these things to zero. The imported things, anything that is foreign, should be zeroed out, and we should localize every form of economic need or development, just like what this young man is doing.
Really get almost everything from here. So just to take you around. Good evening, sir. Well done, sir. Well done. How's the market, sir? How's the work? Very fine, sir. Let's go. Thank you, sir. So he owns this place, and we get from him. We've been transacting business with him for about 5 years now, and for virtually everything we need, for materials we don't get from him, he easily gets it available and make it available for us.
Despite efforts being put into building agro-machineries locally, most farmers still carry out a large chunk of their activities manually.
Presently,
Especially in the north, my paper that I wrote on the national devaluation of Nigeria's national currency, one of the major take-homes I wrote in that paper, that publication, was that Nigeria needs to focus on locally produced goods and services, especially in the agro-based sector. Nigeria used to be a country that is gigantic in agricultural productions, but today the story is different. So in order to reverse all this endless inflation and devaluation of the local currency, I think this is what we should be looking at.
yesterday.
In my own opinion, I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in your comments.
And today, I am presently supplying maize. What I mean by supplying maize is that I planted 2 weeks ago, but there is a poor germination. So I had to now supply the ones that are missing. And this is done manually. In fact, right from the morning I have been doing this work. If it were a machine, I would have done it in 30 minutes. So in all these operations that I'm saying, everything is still done manually, or we are using the human effort. We don't have machines. In fact, the only thing that we are able to do mechanical is the primary operation. That is the plowing, harrowing, and ridging, and nothing else. Planting is done manually, weeding manually, and even harvesting is done manually.
One agency that supports the growth and development of SMEs in the state is the PlusMeda. To understand the state government's position in supporting innovation, we had a chat with the Director General, Wode, who says the government gives people like Jerry Mallo adequate attention.
At the time we met with Jerry, it was almost close to the time that we were to host the nationwide MSME clinic on the plateau. And I felt that the technology that he has needs to be really showcased to the world, so that people will know that we have breakthrough in technology on the plateau. And from there we went to
the extent of, okay, seeing how he can standardize his product to be able to withstand the test of time. And at that time, he had some challenges of course, making these things work as he wants, because he was limited by funding. So the government was able to really come into assist him by providing all the needed parts that he needed to make the tractor work very well. And I could remember very well, he was constructing a rice mill. So we said, okay, as a mark of patronage, the government gave him money to complete the rice mill so that he could be able to showcase it. So you can see that at that time, we were monitoring him to ensure that he works efficiently and produces according to standards. Before the MSME clinic, even after, the government was able to even select some outstanding 50 MSMEs on the plateau for further exhibition to Abuja, whereby they were able to showcase their product further, and that exposed them to both local and international partners who are doing business with them right at the moment. And I think it was at that point that Jerry really caught the attention of the federal government. So you can see that these are some of the supports that the government have given. And so we are trying to now set up what we call an industrial park, whereby we will provide shared facility for all these SMEs that are into the same industry, so that we'll be able to reduce the cost of their production.
In 2018, Jerry Mallo's venture...
Reducing cost of production is key, cannot be overemphasized.
...Any Agro won the Nigerian MSME Awards. Someday, Jerry hopes to build cars for the country as he gets set to launch one of his prototypes.
Do you know what? I've not always been a fan of, you know, all these advertisements calling for African migrants for skilled work and all that, because if you think it through, you know, I am talking of, you know, critically thinking it through, you discover that irrespective of this skilled migration that is going on, a lot of Africans still remain very poor, you know, and it's only people like these that bring innovations to their communities that are even richer. I cannot mention a number of, you know, Nigerian made startups that have actually made it. You know, there was one I heard of the other time that a company in Ireland, you know, helped them, and they made a venture capital of over $200 million, and that's the money that's not even 50 or 100 or 1,000 years as an immigrant or permanent resident in any of these so-called countries in quote can get anybody, any of these immigrants. All right, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from not immigrating, like, okay, or seeking for greener pastures, but the thing is that the mindset needs to be reset. You don't have to zero yourself that it's until you become an immigrant, or it is until you become a jackpot person that you make it. You should remove that from your mind. You can make it anywhere, any point P as far as this earth is concerned. What you need is just God's grace. When you have the grace of God, you know, and you work hard and pray, the rest is history. Seriously, look at what this guy is achieving. From a tractor, he has successfully built a sports car, and even the government in Nigeria is even recognizing him as well, finally, as well as the international community. The kind of recognition that he might not have even gotten in the Hertfordshire, in the University of Hertfordshire. because they're just going to keep him locked down in a class, writing papers, and all that, and not affecting people's lives. I mean, the grassroots people around your community, your immediate environment is very critical. Irrespective of your education and your skill set must first benefit you as an individual, then others. And others, the next point after yourself should be your family, perhaps your friends, your community, your workplace, and so on and so forth. So let us put this behind our minds.
His quest for solution makes him push boundaries, and with the right investment, Benny Agro can turn the fortunes of more local farmers around.
Once I'm done with the design process, I am supposed to, in an ideal situation, send the file to a numerical control machine so that it can be cut and further processed. But then that does not happen here, right? Because we do not have the font or the machines to go through with that process. So whatever I do on my computer, we end up just putting it on paper and then drawing the whole thing in our hands on a piece of metal before we get to practice. I think the government has an important role. They can actually get to put more funds and pay more attention into these innovation we are undertaking, so we can improve and get better machines to accommodate better, to create better machines at the end of the day.
The story of Jerry Mallo presents many lessons to learn.
In fact, I used to advise women like me. When there is a problem, when somebody shares his own position with me, I will say, the destiny of every person is in the hands of God. Jerry, and then when the child is still growing, keep watching what he is doing. In fact, when he was still small, he used to gather this small rubbish zinc to make cars, different cars. And anytime...
That was when he was just 6 months. Wow. Did you guys get that? 6 months. So you should watch out for most of what these babies do when they are young, because that could just be a reflection without even fortune telling. You can even see that from their childbirth or from their upbringing.
They give him this. He will say, Mom, if this is for me, I will buy big car. And when we grew and he started doing this thing, I knew that that was.
You see, somehow I feel that most of us as humans, we have specific missions that we've been made to do on earth. Forget about the challenges, all right? Forget about anything that has to do with challenges here and there. There will be challenges, but challenges are not where you're going. It is your objective, it is your goal, and you should never stop at it. This is very important, all right?
And I used to tell my fellow women, don't rebuke your children when they are making this play. At least pay attention to see what your child wants to do. And then let's be praying for our children that what their destiny is will come to pass.
Yes.
My message for the academical aspect is there should be a way to encourage the practical aspect, to encourage people who are good with their hands. I feel they shouldn't be considered as second-class citizens. They shouldn't be downgraded because they don't perform in the academical aspect. I feel there should be more encouragement, there should be more embracement to them towards those kind of people. And to parents, you should please
and that's a very, very important point to the academia that this guy just stated here.
Your child go towards the dream, go towards his passion. I am pleased, begging at this point, that you should not enforce a particular kind of job to your child. Let him go towards what makes him happy and let him build on what he's good at. It makes a lot of things easier for him.
There is nothing more further from the truth than to believe the nation can become a word player without paying attention to science and technology, human capital development, and of course these gifted ones. The trajectory therefore would be to seek out these gifted ones and of course help them hone their skills and
hope you guys enjoyed the video. Ensure to subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, turn on the bell notification. Until next time, cheers and all the bests.